Heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and I'm coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Shout out to you, Truth Nation, for tapping in. As always, you can always call in, text in at 833-212-1017 on the Truth Talk and text line. And as always, watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like and give us a subscribe as well. As we are at 3,900. We 90 away, 80-something away from our 4,000 before we get to 5,000. But make sure y'all give this a thumbs up and make sure y'all subscribe so you never miss any of your favorite 101.7 The Truth shows. Before I get to my guest here with me today, shout out to Rhea Riley holding it down on the ones and twos.
Hello.
And shout out to Dame Ellzy for joining us here today on Truth to
It's
Power.
Wednesday, and I'm in the building.
Yes, you are. You got new glasses.
Well, these are,
You lose them
I
once in a
lose
while.
them so often. So, yeah, these are some newer ones. I've lost like 2 pair up here. I just leave them up here, and then next thing I know.
You get the same ones over and over?
Yeah, why not?
I was going to say, they look like this.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
See.
These little things work.
I was going to say, they look like the same ones. You should go ahead, go to the store real quick, get you them.
Let me just say, my vision is deteriorating so rapidly that these little Walgreens glasses that I buy may not do the trick anymore.
That's all bad. I hope my eyes. I pray and hope I can see up close for a long time.
Man.
I already can't see far, so I'll be devastated if I can't see up close.
I can see far a little bit, but that's starting to get where when I have these on, it's more clear even further away. So I'm reaching that point.
All right, well.
And they always told me when it happens fast.
Damn. One day I don't have to feel it, but my parents both can't see. But again, 833-212-1017. And we have breaking news here. And it's been breaking news for about almost 3 hours now.
It broke.
But Diddy not guilty? That's the question mark. Rapper and mogul P Diddy was facing some hard time as he was facing RICO charges, 2 sex trafficking charges, and 2 transportation to engage in sex. Prostitution. Prostitution, which, again, wild charge to me that there's even charge for transportation to engage in prostitution. Again, wild charge to me. But there is an update in the case. Are we good for the update here in the case? We have an update in the case here on the verdict that came down in the Diddy trial that we have been talking about now for a year.
On count 1, the racketeering conspiracy charge, Sean Combs has been found not guilty. Not guilty of racketeering conspiracy, perhaps the most complicated charge for the jury to understand. The count 1 had provided for a number of predicate acts, but the jury does not have to get into that because they have found Sean Combs not guilty of leading a criminal enterprise, not guilty of racketeering conspiracy. They will now move to the other 4 counts, 2 of them on sex trafficking and on, and we have not guilty now on count 2, which was sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. Sean Combs has been found not guilty of sex trafficking when it comes to his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. There was a real debate that the jury heard over the course of the last 2 months about consent and coercion and the complications of deciding when an 11-year relationship between Combs and Cassie Ventura may have become a criminal one. And the jury decided it was not criminal sex trafficking when Sean Combs committed what his attorneys freely admitted was domestic abuse, as you saw in that video. He has been found not guilty now on racketeering conspiracy, not guilty on sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura. He has been found guilty on count 3, transportation for the purposes of prostitution. He has also been found guilty on count 5, transportation for the purposes of prostitution. These charges carry a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in prison, so we do have a split verdict. Sean Combs has been found not guilty of racketeering conspiracy, not guilty of sex trafficking Cassandra Ventura, but he has been found guilty on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. And we're waiting for one more count, the sex trafficking of Jane. And just now the jury has decided that Sean Combs is not guilty of sex trafficking his former girlfriend who testified under the pseudonym Jane. So the jury has now believed that the relationships that Sean Combs had with his former girlfriends, Cassie Ventura and a woman who testified under the pseudonym Jane, were not criminal,
and that was live
did not
ABC
involve
News
sex
special report,
trafficking.
live ABC News special report with the breakdown on what Diddy was guilty and not guilty on. Now, you heard what it was. He was guilty on the 2 charges of transportation of Jane Doe, one ex-girlfriend, and Cassie Ventura, also known as Cassie, the R&B artist, found guilty of transportation for prostitution purposes, but then found not guilty on not guilty on sex trafficking charges, the 2 of them in the RICO charges. And again, the interesting part about this is his supporters were seen outside the courthouse celebrating and dancing with baby oil, Dame. One woman removed her wig while a man drizzled baby oil on her ridiculous. From a nearby ledge. And, of course, they used baby oil because he was accused of for the freak off. So Diddy ain't free. But again, he was found not guilty on the biggest charge of racketeering and sex trafficking.
The guy is standing out just to describe the scene, and we're going to get off into this, but this is just ridiculous. Just to describe the scene, my man is shirt off, and they're splattering him with baby oil. Now that's just something to go viral. That's all.
I mean, it's wild.
Come on, man. We're talking about people's lives here. That's just too much.
It is absolutely wild. So the jurors essentially agreed with prosecutors that Combs paid male escorts to fly around the country to have sex with his girlfriends. Now, Dame, hearing all this, we've talked about it before. Dame, what are your thoughts on Diddy? He's not set free yet.
Not set free.
And he wasn't found completely innocent, but he was found guilty of some things. And what are your thoughts on this crazy thing that we've been talking about?
My thoughts have been this way since the beginning. And I've gotten into arguments with people in the chat, people that I've seen in public, and I've gotten in arguments about them. And I told them you have to separate the emotional triggering that happens when you speak of Diddy, right? And just look at it legally. We all know Diddy is a scoundrel. I have sat up here and told you things that have happened to those that I've known that Diddy has done, and stories I've heard in the music industry that are from people who are, what can I say, have great reputations and don't lie. So we know Diddy is a scoundrel. Diddy is a piece of shot. We know this. But the prosecution tried to prosecute his sex life.
Yeah.
And in trying to prosecute this man's sex life, they focused on the wrong things. They tried to make it a RICO instead of just making it those one charges. And in trying to make it a RICO, they shot for the fences. They swung for the fences and tried to get Diddy to have to do life in jail. Whereas if they would have just went for the smaller offenses, maybe they would have gotten, like the smaller ones, they got guilty on those, right?
It's just so much.
But you can't legislate someone's sexual life if they're not out here doing anything where they're beating people up, and well, Diddy was, and he's doing all of that stuff. But what they went for, they couldn't prove. And we know Diddy's a scoundrel, but I've been saying it from the beginning. He's probably gonna get time served. That's why he didn't come out of jail. They didn't give him bond.
Yeah,
he's probably gonna get time served on these 2 other charges because it's prostitution, not that it's...
I didn't even know it was illegal to transport, I guess it's something called like the Mann Act, transportation. I didn't know that it was illegal to put a prostitute in your car and take them from one point to another.
And they're not even saying these are prostitutes. These are just women that he's been dealing with, and he's treating them as prostitutes.
Yeah.
To take them across state lines.
To be with escorts.
So just think, if you they say flued, if you flued somebody in or got flued out, you are committing a crime at that point.
What's crazy to me is the fact that, so again, I'm not saying they was willing, but what I'm saying is this: if you get your behind on an airplane, right,
with the
intention to bust it open, right, that's why I'm just lost with all of this. I really am, and Diddy probably won't do much time, like you said. This is just all just weird.
With those 2 charges that are left, he got 10 years on each one of them, right?
So 20 years,
the maximum of 10 years. But this is prostitution, and so when you look at the history of prostitution, nobody gets
first-time offender.
First time, and he's been in trial 4 different times, but he's Teflon Don, and he keeps getting He keeps getting off of these cases, right? So when you look at that, 10 years for each crime, that's 20 years. They're not gonna give him 20 years for just a prostitute. When they were shooting for the fences, that's like, at that point now you're being vindictive that you beat him, and now you're gonna give him 20 years regardless. He's probably going to get time served, and then he's probably going to get a bond till at this trial that he's at the court date he's having today. They're probably going to give him bond, and he's going to post bond. He's going to walk out of there.
I mean, we have to be honest about it too as well. I mean, I don't know if he'll walk out or they may have him. I know he requested to be sent down to Miami to spend time in jail, but what he may get some type of he may be house arrest.
That's what I'm saying.
Or maybe on parole or something like that.
They're going to give him something that he's going to not be in prison because he's been in prison for how long? A year now?
Yeah, and he's gonna get some sense of freedom where he's not behind bars. And at the end of the day, is that again he won the case. And he's not a real threat to society. Now, I don't know the type of man he is. The reason why they wouldn't let him out before is because they felt he was a flea and he was a flea risk. And now at this point, it's just like, hey, you have no real reason.
You had those heavy charges of RICO and all of the other stuff that he was found innocent of. You had those heavy charges pending and such heavy charges. Okay, we're not letting you out, bro. But now it's just prostitution, the longest employing.
In this country,
the longest form of employment in the world.
Yeah,
and so when you add that to the fact that it's Diddy, he's got these high priced lawyers They gonna argue this thing.
Listen, they gonna
and he gonna probably walk out of there. There's a strong likelihood he's going to walk out of that courtroom today with bond. They're gonna send him back. He's gonna walk out of there today.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
The only thing I know after this case is I know Diddy is guilty of being a big old nasty, mean, terrible freak. That's all I know. Listen, I was always skeptical of adults being forced to do things. I've always been very skeptical as an adult. I understand manipulation is real, but I've always been skeptical of an adult making a decision, even if it's through manipulation or intimidation, to do things.
Right.
I've always been very skeptical of what line that was, and what we saw today is that the jury didn't believe that he had crossed the line in the most when it comes to sex trafficking, and that Cassie and Jane Doe made a decision.
And you know who Jane Doe is, right?
Who is Jane Doe?
Jane Doe is 50 Cent's baby mama.
Oh, is it? I know 50 Cent probably
50
mad.
Cent and Diddy have this long going beef because Diddy has been, doing this thing with 50's baby mama.
That's crazy.
But legally, we know he's not guilty. But in the court of public opinion, he's guilty. We know Diddy has done some terrible things to these women.
There's no justifying the abuse.
He's done terrible
I agree.
things. He's drugged these women. He's drugged them. He's done terrible things to them. We know this. Whether they want to say it's legal in the court of law, we as a people, we know this, and we have to treat Diddy as such. We can't allow for Diddy to just come back into our world.
Well, do you think he would? Do you really think? Here's the thing. I don't. Let's talk about this on the other side, because I hear what you're saying, but unfortunately I disagree with what you're saying as well. 833-212-1017. Will Diddy be accepted back into society? Will he be able to go back into his regular life, or should we hold him accountable for the things that came out during this court case, whether it's the video with Cassie we already knew about, or the stories that Kid Cudi, for some reason, who I don't know why Kid Cudi even testified. I don't know what.
Well, he blew up his car.
What does that have to do with him?
They're showing the racketeering in the RICO. It was a criminal organization.
And so what?
So a criminal organization blows up a car. So that's what they're saying.
And so we want to hear from you at 833-212-1017, as I am joined by Dame Ellzy here on Truth to Power as we react to the verdict of not guilty on 3 of the 5 charges for Diddy. He was only found guilty of 2 of the lesser charges, which is the Mann Act transportation. The Mann Act transportation of the women law, that you basically can't transport people for sexual acts, and he was found guilty of that, which holds 10-year maximum for each count, which he got guilty on 2 of them, which he has a maximum of 20 years, but it seems like he's probably not going to face very much time behind bars. But will Diddy be accepted back into society, and should he be accepted back into the limelight in society after this case? 833-212-1017, that is the Truth Talking text line. You can also watch and stream us live. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube and watch and stream us live as we continue this conversation, and we will debate whether or not Diddy will be able to be back in the limelight after this case. You're listening to Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth with our guest co-host today, Dame Ellzy, and we'll have some reaction on the other side to Diddy.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Good Karma Brands would like to send out a big congratulations to Tory Lowe. Tory recently received a proclamation from both the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. So going forward, July 5th will now be recognized as Tory Lowe Day. Tory's activism, advocacy, and hard work makes Tory more than deserving of this recognition. Tory's family at 1017 The Truth celebrate Tory for always being about that action. And we know this is just the beginning, and there is so much more to come as a result of Tory's efforts and leadership. Congratulations again, Tory.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
The $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Hey everybody, it's Melanie Ricks. You all know I love supporting a local team. That's why I'm excited to tell you about UW Credit Union. They've been serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. And when I was in school, they helped me learn how to plan for my future and make my money grow. Even now, they're still always there for me when I have questions, and they'll be there for you too. So stop by any of their 13 Milwaukee area branches or visit uwcu.org to become a UW Credit Union member today, like me. Federally insured by NCUA.
Great impressions will exceed your Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. They've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great Impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
We do it for fun, We just do it for fun, We do it dirty, bad boy.
Nelly, Diddy, Murphy, oh, we play Diddy again. I guess Diddy is back. Life's better with American family. Well, let me start this over. Let me pause. Take the music down. Life's better with American Family Insurance because their home policies help protect your dreams and come with a peace of mind. Truth Nation, save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote from an agent at amfam.com. Products are not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating companies. American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and text line, as we are getting instant reaction to Diddy being found not guilty on 3 of the 5 counts he was facing. He was found guilty on 2 of the lesser charges, and he probably, if he does spend time behind bars, any more time behind bars, it will not be much. I am joined today on Truth to Power by Dame Ellzy, and we're giving you an instant reaction. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube. We see the phone lines blowing up, but before we get to y'all on the phones, I do want to ask Dame, because on the other side we teased it.
Yeah.
Will Diddy be able to be reintroduced to society, into pop culture? Integrated. That is a great way to say it. Will he not have his reputation tarnished after this case? Will the black community, will pop culture, will the music industry allow him to come back in with open arms?
Unfortunately, they will. Even though
why you say unfortunately?
Even though he's been crucified in the court of public opinion, we have seen in the past where especially in hip hop and especially in black culture, whether it be OJ, whether it be Snoop, whether it be anyone that has had these instances where we find out some terrible things about them, even via, I'm just speaking the legal system, and we accept them back. Snoop is now the pitch man extraordinaire, but we forget 30 years ago, Snoop was on trial for murder.
Yeah.
Somebody died on a drive-by where he was driving. You know what I'm saying? So let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about, before OJ passed away, he got off on the trial, and we embraced that. And
white folk didn't. White folks didn't. They hate him to death.
See, I don't care about white folk. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about us. You know what I'm saying? And too busy, and too many times we as black people, whether it be in our families or whether it be in our public lives and whether it be the people that we put on a pedestal, we accept them back after they do things. They say they've given their life to God, or they go through the rigmarole of saying
Diddy
things.
Definitely found God in jail. I know he probably is. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
There's a playbook that they go by to get themselves ingratiated back with the black community. And then once they're back in the black community, since we set the tone for pop culture, once they are back ingratiated with us, they set themselves up for success in the wider spectrum. Look at your man that did the Marvel stuff, that was gonna
Iron
be
Man.
That was gonna be there you go.
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors had all of this terrible stuff come out on him.
He did.
The lady ended up saying she was lying, but that wasn't the first accusation against Jonathan Majors.
No,
and we accept Jonathan Majors back into our.
We always do that because we feel like we got to protect our own. Because when I think about it, because here's the thing, I'm with you. we should not accept him back into the culture with open arms.
No.
But I understand that Diddy is going to come out. Diddy's going to have parties, and guess what? All the famous people going to go to the party. Diddy is going to make an album, produce albums, and everybody going to be listening to it. Even right now, and I know Rhea not happy with the result, but the song we came back with was a Diddy song.
Listen.
And so what I'm saying is Diddy is going to be able to ingratiate himself with the community, and this is all going to be water under the bridge, and people going to joke about it, pour baby oil on themselves. People going to do all this crazy stuff because they're going to make a joke, even though people's lives were messed up with this. And then on top of that, Cassie, I saw on video, he beat up Cassie. He's a terrible human being, but we all turned and look the other way. And when I think about this ain't just the black community. Just this past weekend, Morgan Wallen, who is a famous country singer, was at Camp Randall in Madison, had 2 sold-out shows of 60,000 plus people, and he went on, he was talking about, he said the N-word. He was calling people niggas.
See what I'm saying?
And so what I'm saying is this, is that so often we forget and we forgive.
Yes.
And even when it comes to the Morgan Wallen thing using the N-word, there's rappers who made songs with this man. So all I'm going to say is this, is that we can be upset and mad, but will this ruin or tarnish his reputation? Absolutely not. Diddy going to be fine because he got money, and Diddy going to be just like, he might end up being the next person with Martha Stewart cooking and baking and things like that.
That's all I'm saying. We have, as black people, we have to hold our umbrella of protection of the black people and the black culture. We gotta get that umbrella made out of steel. Right now it's made out of plastic, and people are bouncing in and bouncing out at will and using us to get back into the graces of these white folks. And we gotta stop. Even on like I said, on the family level, we have an uncle that may have felt on a little girl. We still let him come to Thanksgiving. We gotta stop.
Turn a blind eye.
Y'all.
We do.
We gotta stop doing that, because what we're doing is, Diddy didn't do these acts on white women. He did these treacherous acts on black women. So when they talk about protecting black women, that's what we're talking about. Protect black women, and don't let this man back into our homes. Don't let him back into our lives to sell us stuff to be Diddy again. That got to stop.
833-212-1017. We are talking about the news that came down today as the Diddy trial that has been happening. It started maybe a month ago, something like that, maybe 2 months ago, and he had been behind bars for about a year. Diddy was found not guilty on 3 charges, 3 of the more severe charges, and found guilty on 2 of the lesser charges. We are reacting. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube, but also we are taking your calls and taking your texts at 833-212-1017. Kia in Milwaukee, what is your reaction to Diddy?
Hi, I am so happy that Diddy was found not guilty on those very serious charges. The guy in the studio with me, he's the biggest hater at this time I've ever seen in life. Just because someone accused you of something does not mean you're guilty. When people have money and power and prestige, there's a lot of people that want to be up under them.
Kia, can I ask you a question?
And they will do what it takes.
Kia, I feel really quickly, I want you on the line because Dame's gonna say something.
Yes,
what about with the video of him abusing Cassie? That's my question when it comes to that, because you can call Dame a hater, but I'm just curious about your reaction to the video where he abused Cassie. What was your thoughts about that?
Abuse is never okay, and I don't agree with it, but I don't know what occurred before we got into the hallway. Just like you brought up Jonathan Majors. That woman had hit Jonathan Majors in the head.
You
in the
calling
car.
me the biggest hater. You the biggest caper. You are caping for this man who is Are you a black woman? This man is whooping on black women like they ain't nothing, and you are saying, "Oh, that's okay. We don't know what happened before that." No matter what happened before that.
You brought up one woman. You guys, let me tell you something about you people hating on Diddy. Okay, first of all, they ain't number big because they have to be proven. Just because I can say you hit me, but I have to be proven to be right.
And if they got a video of me hitting you, then I did it. If they got a video of me,
but you know what?
If they got a video of me hitting and kicking and dragging you down a hole.
They should have. He took accountability for that, and if they should have pressed charges for domestic violence and not racketeering.
This is exactly why the black community is in the position that it is, because we keep allowing these scoundrels that have committed these crimes and committed these things, these atrocities against us, to come back in and do it to us again. At some point, we got to put up a wall. Stop making excuses for these people, man.
Thank you, Kia, for the call. That was fantastic. That was fair. It was so because I host the show all the time, so I gotta engage. It was nice just to be able to sit back and watch Dame and Kia go back and forth. That was it. I love the truth. That was entertaining. Was it not real? That was entertaining. She said, and the dude who with you, he a damn hater.
How am I a hater, Rhea? How am I a hater? Explain to me how I'm a hater.
You're not a hater. She's crazy.
She's crazy.
Oh, well, I don't call Truth Nation. Kia, you ain't crazy. You just, you have your own opinion. Your own opinion. Listen.
Kia got Stockholm syndrome.
If you get hit upside your head, what did you do to get hit upside the head? That's what Kia was trying to say. Is that maybe we missed the other part? Maybe Cassie hit Diddy first, and then Diddy said, "Oh hell no, I'm gonna catch you and I'm gonna get you." I listen. I disagree.
The level of abuse
it was messed up.
That Diddy leveled on Cassie in that hallway. There is no way you can make any. There is nothing she could have done before that would have leveled. That would have been equal.
That ain't the first time Diddy done hit her upside her head. That was part of their relationship.
This
just
the
crazy.
Same person that shot up a club. Oh, and somebody got popped. Our lives got affected. Are we forgetting this is the same person who had a party in New York where 8 people died? We act like Diddy is Jesus. He's not. Diddy has escaped prosecution 3 or 4 other times before. This isn't his first time.
It's crazy.
So why? So we just saying they just after Diddy?
Hey, I know Kia. She Diddy bopping right now. Bop,
Come on, man.
Bop. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line. Allen on Sherman Park. What are your thoughts on the Diddy trial and Diddy case of him basically being found not guilty on the 3 highest charges that he was facing and guilty on 2 of the lesser charges?
Well, gentlemen, I don't like when prosecutors overreach. I'm a law and order person, but I also don't like you shaping something into what it is not. Just make sure when you order your prostitute, you order it in the same state actually, and don't fly them in. But I back Kia. If they wanted to charge him with assaulting Cassie, that's what they should have charged him with, not go with all this other stuff. And this government kind of makes themselves look discredited when they do that. And like I said, I'm the biggest law and order person there is, but I also believe in being fair to people and not making crap up.
Thank you, Al. I appreciate your thoughts. I appreciate the thoughts, Al. 833-212-1017.
Like I said, the government shot for the fences, and they should have been trying to hit singles.
Yeah.
And they tried to hit a home run and make some careers off of Diddy. That's where they went wrong.
I really think money really influences everything. You get a good attorney, you can get off on a lot of things. But 833-212-1017. We are reacting to the Diddy trial verdict here on Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. And my man, Winky Blue, you on 1017 The Truth. What are your reactions and thoughts? Because I'm sure you got some strong ones to this Diddy case.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I have to agree with the lady and with Al. And I hear the brother Dame. He's always on fire. But we don't know what happened. I have to ask him, and he probably won't be honest. Has he ever had a woman to challenge him or to fight him back or to call him out of his name and use the B word, which can really hurt a man? I mean, I'd rather be called a punk or something else, opposed to being called the B word, because that puts me in a whole different category. And so has he ever been there? But that's not what I called about. My real question was, what were the charges he was charged with? Was it prostitution or was it sex trafficking?
He was charged with 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of transportation for the reason and purpose of prostitution.
Was it sex trafficking or was
RICO.
it prostitution? I think it was prostitution.
It was
right?
from what I have seen here. I got to bring my notes. It was for sex trafficking for maybe purposes for purposes of prostitution. But then he was for transportation of prostitution. He was found guilty of.
Okay, because you have to be careful with the word prostitution. See, you can go down there and buy a girl on the track, and they'll bust you for being a John. They ain't going to buy you. They're going to charge you with prostitution.
Well, it was transportation to engage in prostitution.
It was a moving. You're
going to be charged with prostitution if you buy that girl.
No, okay? What Diddy was charged. Diddy was charged with moving them across state lines. That's what he.
Okay, but hold on. Was it prostitution? Because if it's prostitution runs a thin line between that and human trafficking. What they did is they changed the language from white slavery, from pandering, to this word human trafficking.
You were very
is an
educated on this,
enhancement
Winky.
all by itself. Huh?
You're extremely educated on this, Winky Blue.
Well, what I'm just telling you is this right here. The man beat the cases, and, if it's prostitution, it's going to be like a misdemeanor, man. Now, if they trying to get him because he bought prostitutes. He bought prostitutes, and that's prostitution.
No, it's not. It's not. So Winky, so what it is, he was
sex trafficking.
He was found guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution. He basically transported his two ex-girlfriends, one being Cassie, one being 50 Cent baby mama, and basically
were those the girls or were these other guys that were brought in?
Wait a minute. He was taking them to engage in sex acts with male escorts. So that's what he got hit with the charge of, is taking a woman to somewhere else to engage in sex acts. So that's what he got charged with. Transportation.
Well, he was paying them. They wasn't paying him.
Winky, I don't know who was paying who.
So it's prostitution, man. You got to go look at the prostitution law, and then
listen,
you realize the difference.
Listen, you got to talk to New York City. I'm just giving the facts. I ain't no lawyer. You got to ask somebody else.
And then I want to ask Dan. He never answered the question. Has he ever been challenged by a woman?
You got to be quiet. Let me talk. Okay, let me.
Thank you, Winky. We're gonna talk to you. You can go listen.
Listen up, Winky. As a man, I was raised by strong women, and I was raised by also a strong man who told me that if I allow a woman to get me to the point where I feel like I need to beat up on her, I need to leave her alone. So if I'm going to still be messing with you, then I'm going to walk away from this relationship and walk away from all of this other stuff. If you get me to the point where I lose my control enough just be off of a word that I'm going to put hands on a woman, then I need to leave you alone. Now, have I ever been called a B word or something like that? Yes. But have I ever smacked her? No. Does that require me to smack her? Let me tell you a little story. I got in a fight in 8th grade with a young woman, and I was doing wrong. I was 8th grade. We was touchy-feely. I touched her butt. She didn't like it. I said, okay, I'm going to touch it again. She got up on her desk and punched me so hard. To this day, I still feel it.
Oh, wow. Good for her.
She wasn't a little girl. She was bigger than me. But she got up and punched me so hard, right? I lost it and beat her up.
Oh,
and while I'm beating her up, I'm crying, saying my mama is going to kill me for doing this. My mama. And so my teacher told my mama that, shout out Miss Odom, my teacher told my mama that, and that's the only thing that kept me out of trouble. I say all of that to say, that's the only time that I've been verified to put my hands on a woman. And any man that's out here just thinking they're going to smack on women and kick on women like Diddy did, and anybody that's making excuses for a man to be able to do that is not a man.
And this is coming from a man who has a daughter, so I know it's coming from your heart. 833-212-1017. Todd, we'll see you. We'll take your call on the other side, but we are taking your instant reaction to the Diddy verdict today, the Diddy trial where he was found not guilty on the largest the largest charge of RICO racketeering charges. We'll take your reaction. You can also watch and stream us live, but we'll take Todd on the other side. We'll read some of your talking text. We'll read some of your YouTube comments. But this is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at WeEnergies.com. We Energies, people you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
we are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them, epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation, because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options. Be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready to act.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneim. A busy start to free agency for the Milwaukee Bucks, one that saw them land Miles Turner on a 4-year, $107 million deal, at the same time waiving guard Damian Lillard. WTMJ's Justin Garcia looks at the reshaping Milwaukee has done early in the offseason.
You've seemingly overnight kind of reshaped this team while still having most of your group from last year, but you've gotten younger and more flexible.
The Bucks also sending Pat Connaughton in a trade to the Charlotte Hornets. Over to baseball, where the Milwaukee Brewers will play a doubleheader in New York against the Mets. Freddie Peralta and Jacob Mizorowski expected to get the starts for the Brew Crew. As it stands coming into today, the Brewers 10 games over 500 and 2.5 back in the NL Central Division. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
I was just chopping it up with my people the other day. And these people who I know really love me, like, they be telling me something I want to hear sometimes, but the other day they said, please.
Milwaukee's biggest party on the lake is in full effect, and guess what? The award-winning 101.7 The Truth has to hook up for you. Now is your last chance to win a 2-pack of Summerfest tickets and a pair of wristbands to see T Grizzly live at Summerfest. Yes, caller number 10 right now at 833-212-1017 wins the 2-pack of Summerfest tickets or I should say a pair of Summerfest tickets and a pair of wristbands to see T Grizzly at Summerfest this Saturday, July 5th. We caller number 10 at 833-212-1017. That's caller number 10 at 833-212-1017 right now to win 2 pair of tickets to Summerfest and 2 wristbands to see T Grizzly at Summerfest this Saturday. And always remember, Summerfest is sponsored by our presenting one of our founding partners, American Family Insurance, and also shout out to our food sponsor, Major Goolsby. 833-212-1017 for your chance to win these wristbands. You're listening to Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm Kyle Wallace, the host of Truth to Power. With me is Dame Ellzy, and we're giving you instant reaction to the Sean P Diddy Combs case, where he was found not guilty on 3 charges, 3 of the higher charges, and found innocent on 2. Found not guilty on 3 of the higher charges and found guilty on 2 of the lesser charges. We do not believe he will end up spending much time in jail. But 833-212-1017. With me is Dame LZ. And now on the phone is Todd. You have comments here on Diddy. What are your thoughts on Diddy?
Yeah, I'm glad that he got off myself, because I'm like, the case that he had against the girl was pretty much a domestic violence case, man, and that's like a misdemeanor, 9 months sentence in the county jail or something like that. you expect them to get a life sentence for a domestic violence case? I wouldn't expect that. And I'm more concerned about the aspiring rappers, the male rappers that were trying to get record deals with this guy, and he was pulling his penis out, telling him, suck this and you can get a record deal. That's what I'm more
Did he? I don't know
about.
if he said all that. Now I heard a lot of nasty stuff about Diddy, but I ain't never heard he proposition somebody for a record deal. What you know,
Yeah,
Todd?
I've been hearing a lot about that.
Okay,
that he's been,
that's Todd, not me. Just in case Diddy trying to hit somebody with a case. I don't agree. I don't know if that's true, but Todd said it, so that's on you, Todd.
Yeah, he was doing that, man. He was trying to turn them little boys out, trying to get rap deals and stuff.
So
and
what would you do if you were an artist? If what Diddy did that, what would you have done? Would you, for $1 million, what would you have done?
What I'd have done?
Yeah,
that's what I'd have done. I'd have popped him. I popped him about 3-4 times, man. For that, and I'm just saying, now you gotta live with that.
Yeah.
And them cats might be coming after him.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I was him, I would just lay back and just say, "Skid it! I done made my money. I'm gonna lay back in the cut, and I'm just gonna live the rest of my life rich."
I feel you. I appreciate you, Todd.
Leave the public eye.
Well, it ain't happening. I can tell you that now. Thanks, Todd. Diddy gonna be right as soon as he get out. He gonna be right back.
What's gonna happen?
He been plotting this comeback. He been getting all this stuff in order.
We want it to be one way, but it's gonna be the other way, like they say in The Wire. You want it one way, but it's really this way. We want it to be, in a utopian situation that Diddy would fall off the face of the earth and he would go and live his life in Aruba somewhere and with his millions, and that would be it. We wouldn't have to deal with him no more. But that's not going to happen.
833-212-1017. Taking reaction to the Diddy trial as Diddy was acquitted of the highest charge of racketeering and found guilty on lesser charges. Tony from Tulsa, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What's happening, Tony?
What's happening?
What up?
So I am not surprised about this at all. The powers that be was just trying to scare Diddy, just like they did with the cat that was from the Abercrombie and Fitch situation. They love these type of people that do these things to individuals and other people. So it's not a surprise that he's getting a lesser charge. Like I said, the Abercrombie and Fitch guy, Hefner guy, was he was right down the street from Diddy, and no press was released on that whole situation. And his was much deeper than Diddy's. They said he wasn't fit to serve trial. Now Diddy should have gotten more time because of the GHB that everybody was laughing about being baby oil. So it wasn't baby oil. It was GHB.
What is GHB?
Hydroxybutyrate is the drug, GHB. It looks like baby oil, but it neutralizes you, so you can't move.
Oh, wow.
And so, but you can feel everything, but you can't move.
Oh, I don't
and
like
so that's
that.
why so that's why
You have to
the
inject
whole
it or
thing
you have
about
to
that.
lather it?
No, it's like baby oil. You just rub it on.
Hell
So
no.
that's what. Yeah, so when people are like, that baby oil, this Diddy, I'm like, nah, that's an actual drug that you guys don't know about. So
how
if you don't believe me, look it up.
That's what they said.
Because the people that I was listening to, a young lady named Whitney Webb, had broke it down.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, oh, snap, I got to look into it.
That's wild.
And yeah, like, look it up. It's literally like baby oil. That's what it looks like.
Then what
anyway,
they do is they infuse that baby oil with something, and then they'll put it in a drink, or they'll put it, they'll find a way for you to ingest whatever they've put, and that mixed with the baby oil causes people to be present but not present.
I don't like that. All right, well, Tony, I appreciate you calling in. I think you make a great point, too, about the Abercrombie and Fitch, because that just disappeared as well.
Yeah, it did. We can't act like this isn't, This is
part of the culture. This is what they do. This is what these nasty, rich, freaky people do.
Let's be real.
I mean, 'cause that's why they kept going to the party. They said, I told you, I've been to a party. I never forget I went to a party when I was in high school and in college, and I never forget I opened up that door, Dame. I opened up the door. I opened up that door at a UWM campus party, and I mean, not associated with UWM. Some of the kids went there. Opened up the door. They was doing lines of coke. I was like 17. I said, what?
My pops always told me, once you start going to these house parties and once you start going to these, you get in college, you go to these parties. My pops used to have these one-liners that were glorified. And he would say, Don't open no doors.
I opened the door and I said,
don't open no doors. And
I ain't never seen somebody do coke a day in my life
listen,
to the end.
And so people, what I want people to understand is y'all have to watch these documentaries that they have on Netflix and Amazon Prime, not to give them shots out, but they have documentaries on there that are explaining what Diddy has done. And women on here who are talking about it. These are not women that have sued for any money. These are not women. These are just women who wanted their story to be told. You got to watch this stuff. And whether you believe it or not, Diddy is not a clean guy.
No, surviving Diddy.
He is not. And he just because he beat these charges, which we said he was going to do, don't get it twisted. I'm not a Diddy fan. I don't support anything that Diddy is doing or has done as of late as this stuff has come out, because I've known for a couple of decades how Diddy has gotten down. And we've been trying to tell people and nobody listens. And now they see it. But I also am a stand-up guy in that I understand how the judicial system works. And the judicial system in this case didn't present its evidence in a way that he should have been convicted. They went about it wrong. And we also know that, and we were talking about this earlier, Kyle, with the freak-offs, if he is criminalized for having these freak-offs, then you also have to criminalize those who were present at these freak-offs.
Yeah,
and what you are now doing is opening up Pandora's box to half of the music industry, half of Hollywood, half of politicians.
Hell, we know Epstein was throwing freak-offs, and there'll be a lot. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, they all probably be behind bars.
So what I'm saying is, so that's why the prosecution, in doing that and trying to prosecute them for these freak-offs, went about it wrong, because they didn't understand that.
833-212-1017. Before we go to break, I want to read some of the talk and text line. Thank y'all so much for engaging here on Truth to Power today. Remember, you can always watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like and get us a subscribe as we're on our road to 5,000 subscribers. Wayne on the talk and text line said, Kyle, the problem with Sean Combs' trial is that the prosecutors overcharged and overreached, as Dame talked about. I'm sure everyone could see and agree that he's not a nice guy, but being a bad guy doesn't mean you can be charged with anything. I wholeheartedly agree. And in response to Winky Blue, somebody texted in, Mari said, could someone please tell Winky Blue that if he wants to hit a woman because his ego is so fragile, if she calls him out of his name, a female dog, he just called himself one. So basically said, if you hit a woman, you are a female dog, which I 100% agree with. And then Stacy lastly said, Diddy is a hook A N-word? A hook A N-word.
He's a hand.
A hand. Is that I've heard a band, but I've never heard a hook. What does hook mean?
That's all, that's some gang talk.
Oh wow. Don't get me shot.
Not like that. Not like that. But I'm just saying, it's, as you say,
don't get me shot.
As you say whore, the slang word for whore is usually what people would say.
I don't even know what we're supposed to be saying now, Dan.
Can you say whore?
I don't
say whore.
I don't know. But
really, I can say whore.
No, let's just not say it no more. Let's not say it no more. He won't learn and will feel as if he's Nino Brown on top of World Untouchable. I don't like him. 833-212-1017. We got to go to break. We got to go to break real quick. Before I go to break, I got to tell y'all, protect your dreams in home with American Family Insurance, and you can weather any storm. Excuse me.
My bad if I get y'all license took.
We gonna come back. We gonna wrap this show on the other side.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Truth Nation. Unfortunately, violence is on the rise in Milwaukee, and this is a problem which impacts us all. Please join me and the Truth team on Saturday, July 12th from 9 a.m. to noon for our third annual Walk Against Violence, supported by 1MKE. Enough is enough. Now it's time to bring an end to senseless violence in our community. To join our Walk Against Violence on Saturday, July 12th, visit truthwalkagainstviolence.com to sign up today.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We believe that self-care isn't selfish. I'm Maddie from Sweet Talks, a women-owned and operated medical spa fostering self-love and confidence. We believe that beauty is about feeling empowered from within, and it's truly a passion for our team at Sweet Talks. Your goals are our goals. Our services go beyond injectables, including facials, lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. There's even a cafe, complimentary to all patients. Get started today at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, July 10th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Northcott Neighborhood House, located at 2460 North 6th Street, and at Garden Homes Park, located at 2600 West Atkinson Avenue. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food and refreshments while supplies last, and the chance to make your next career move. Your success matters, and we are here for it. Brought to you by Council members Andrea Pratt and Malele A. Coggs. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Maximus, and Amplifier.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
All right, here we go. Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance, and you can weather any storm. You'll save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Products are not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on home or auto policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned as operating companies. American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Dame, share your final thoughts of today's show, talking about Sean P. Diddy Combs being found not guilty on racketeering charges.
My final thoughts is that we can have in duality in these conversations. We can understand that Diddy is a scoundrel and Diddy deserves every piece of negative press or everything that happens negative in his life, but we also have to understand that Diddy is still a person, and in court, if we don't have the legal system as being blind as we want it to be and uphold it to a higher standard, whether it be Diddy or whether it be Mother Teresa that's in front of that judge, we need to make sure that they do things correctly, and if they're not doing things correctly, we need to hold them accountable as well. So Diddy needs to be held accountable, the justice system needs to be held accountable, and black people, we need to hold ourselves accountable and not allow Diddy to just come back into our lives as if he didn't do the things he did.
No, I'm right there with you, Dame, is that when it comes to Diddy, we do need to tread lightly. We need to understand there's some things that, though he may have been found guilty on some of these acts, there are some horrific things that he did, and we need to make sure that we're holding people to a higher standard. And I think Dame said it excellent when he said he did abuse black women. He did take advantage of black women. We need to make sure we protect our black queens, all right? So I understand he's famous. We like his music, but we need to also understand that he's a pretty bad individual. I'm not saying don't listen to his music, but don't embrace him as a human being, because he has shown his true colors of who he is. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk, the text line. Thank y'all so much for listening today. The Tory Lowe Show is up next. We'll be wrapping up the week tomorrow at Summerfest, so make sure y'all stay tuned in and tapped in. Thank y'all, Truth Nation. I love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow. This is 1017 The Truth, Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power.